WW7ATS, testing audio. W7ATS testing.
Testing. N7KC. It came out on my end. This is KF7 UHK.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. On the 08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage. There you'll see a little information about our organization, the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on, and also you'll find a link that will take you to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 14708 for our voice transmissions. But please note, you'll need a tone of 103.5 to communicate with us. Again, if you're using WW7STR's repeater 147.08, you'll need a tone of 103.5 to communicate with this net. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Hearing none, again, welcome to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Checked in by a video link already. It's KF7UHK, Jessica. Lee, N7KC. Richard, N7ITX. Wade, W7ITL. Jim, N7QO. WU7N. And myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Is there anybody else wishing to check into the net?
KD6ILO, disconnected.
UHK.
Got KF7UHK up here in Everett, where it's dark outside. I can't tell you what the weather's like, but I was up in Mount Vernon earlier where a storm cloud came over and just dumped, I say, rain on top of our place while we were up in our garage where I have my other ham set. And it was really something. We said, we'll just hang up here in our little electronics area while the rain's dumping before I go back over to the house. Didn't do much today. Worked on an old synthesizer guitar that Sylvia bought a long time ago. That was a vintage 1974, I believe, when it came out by Roland. And trying to put it back together after trying to diagnose why one of the strings didn't trigger the synthesizer. So that's what we're working on today. But with that, I'm going to pass it back. This is Camp 7, USJ.
KF7UHK, thanks for that. Let's go to Port Angeles to Lee, N7KC.
Okay, very good. This is N7KC Lee in Port Angeles. Any indication that I'm making it okay? Am I getting in? Okay, very good, thanks. Well, good to see you all, and the first part of the holidays out of the way, and now we've got New Year's coming up here, so. What am I hearing? I'm getting audio. I see, I'm getting it from YouTube. Let me just shut that off there. Okay. Well, things are okay here. Still working on my project on the floor, doing a lot of CAD work on getting the dishwasher, redoing how it goes into its cabinet a little bit. The new range, the induction range we got, has to be completely redone, and I'm well into that on these things. And we got a new refrigerator too, but that I don't have too much of that. I just run some water to it. So anyway, I get awful tired. I can go a couple of hours, maybe 3, and then I'm whipped. But that's okay. I don't have a time frame to finish it off. I saw Mario was on the Echo link here when I first got on, and then apparently he dropped off. And hi to Jessica, and I don't know if Jim out in Covington is there tonight or not. I didn't hear. I was just almost late getting in. So typical end of year exercises here. We have not had a frost yet. It hasn't been cold enough to even have a frost. We were down a couple of degrees above freezing one morning, and that's the coldest it's been. but no frost. Back to you, Dave, in 7KC, Lee at Port Angeles.
7KC, let's go to Richard down in Arizona. K7ITX.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for that, Dave, for letting me know I'm getting through. I am audio only tonight. It's, as you know, where it's a little after 8 o'clock Pacific. It's a little after 9 o'clock Mountain, and so I've got my PJs on. I'm still recovering from what appears to be a successful surgery yesterday, so I'm happy about that. But as you can probably imagine, the anesthesia, that takes a while to wear off, and then of course the pain pills that come along with any kind of surgery, laparoscopic, by the way. But I'm pretty excited about the results. So, I heard Jessica out there. Hi, Jessica. I'm curious about to get a report on, I think it was the Wicked musical that you were going to. You were a little skeptical about if you were going to enjoy it or not. So if I got that right, if that's the right movie I'm thinking of, I'd sure like to hear what you have to think about it. With that, K7ITX, back to Net Control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. Let's go to Wade in Tacoma, W7ITL.
It'll just take me a second because I am doing two things at once here, and I'm hearing myself through the repeater and my headset.
Multi-taxing, I take it.
All right. Well, now I'm not having to hear myself through my headphones. Hopefully, I'm not coming in with an echo. You guys can give me a thumbs up here in just a second while I multitask back to the. Oh, everybody says I'm doing good. So, yeah. Well, it's been a while since I've been on the net, doing a lot of family things. So, it's nice to see everybody. Looks like I'm coming in on the repeater output. That's good. Well, you see. Went to today. Went to the radio club of Tacoma, and was just playing around with this new radio. Well, it's not new. It's just that's something I've been kind of working on. There's a special firmware that uses. It's a custom firmware allows me to do some interesting things, and I'll talk about more maybe in the next round as I reflect my thoughts. But essentially, it's kind of like the Plowshare radio, where you can put custom firmwares on it, and it's pretty cool. Let's see. Other than that, tonight I'm going to be going to go to a movie. It's called Nosferatu. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm probably butchering that. I think it's a movie about Dracula. It's another one of those kind of vampire movies. So I'm going to see that with my daughter. She gave me some movie tickets, and I'm going to go with her. And that's after the net. And then
let's see. I
let's
talked
see.
about the Radio Club
I
Tacoma.
talked about the Radio Club Tacoma.
Spent lots of time with family
this week.
Just took my
Just took
mother-in-law back to the airport.
mother-in-law
this
back to the airport
and,
this
got
afternoon, and got back.
I made
some drinks for me and my wife, and it's a I'm getting told that there's an echo problem. It's probably because I'm talking through. I'm gonna just mute my mic here, so I don't have two mics.
Should be a little bit better now. That's the problem when you're trying to get audio in digitally and also through the repeater. Still trying to figure out a way to make this work effectively without having to do a lot of juggling. But as I was saying, I'm going to go see a movie tonight. Had lots of family, had lots of fun with the family. Okay, all right. Well, I'll turn it back because I am just kind of blabbering here. And it's nice, that, again, like I said, to see everybody. I will turn it back to Net Control, or Dave, W7ITL.
W7ITL, thanks for that. And it's time for a quick ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. I'll pause momentarily in case anybody would like to check into the net. This is KD7CYM. Hearing none. Let's go to N7QO to Jim.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Wade, let me get you before you run off and do something else. If you're going to go see a movie about vampires tonight, sounds interesting. I have nothing right now but a completely black screen. I plugged in my decoder and it says searching, and then it went completely black, and that's all I've got. If you have any ideas on that, let me know next time it's your turn. Jessica, old guitar, yeah, my wife would like to mess around with that as well. Lee, working around the house, oh, I feel for you. That's a never-ending task, just doing stuff around the house. Yeah, and I heard Mario as well. What I heard is it said he was disconnected from Echolink. So don't know if he's back or don't know what's going on there. But I heard him. Dick, yeah, audio only tonight. That's okay. I was thinking about you yesterday. I said a couple extra prayers there. Recovering from your surgery yesterday. Laparoscopic surgery still counts. They put you out pretty completely. They don't want to risk you moving at all while the mechanical hands are inside. So they generally give you a pretty heavy dose of general sedative there. So glad to hear that. It sounds like it was a success, and hopefully you'll be in much better condition come the next net. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
Let's move from Covington to Northeast Bellevue to James, WU7N.
WU7N. I was trying to check the delay. Looks like there's about a 6-second delay on our streaming if you look at it on the... hello?
to get back over here to a Discord thing, and I'm assuming people can hear me. I see a nodding head. Okay, well, anyway, I heard KD6ILO at the start of the net, but then he disconnected, so I don't know if he reconnected or not. I see up in Port Angeles, N7KC is taking his headset off and putting it on again. Are you hearing me through Echolink, Lee? Correct repeater tone, but I don't. Okay, I got 2 thumbs up, so I guess he can hear me. Anyway, I heard Mario there, but he dropped. I don't know if he got back. Jessica, guitar assembly. That sounds really interesting, and I am intrigued about how this would work, because if one string on the guitar is not coming through the amplifier, how are all the other strings coming through the guitar? I thought there was just one pickup for all the guitar strings, so you'll have to explain how that works next time round. Yes, we have had very wet weather here down here in Bellevue, Northeast Bellevue, too. Rain and thunderstorms last night. Certainly, I slept really well, but as morning came, I was kind of half asleep, and I was thinking, my goodness, it's raining out there. I guess it's a test to see if your gutters are clear and everything's working right. You are inspiring me if you're installing dishwashers and ranges and doing things on a CAD machine. I've got 2 bathrooms left after the grand double-deck project last summer. I tell you that it was just amazing to watch the 2 guys work. I still owe them a DVD with pictures on it, so I still have to do that before too much longer here. Let's see. There has all. I don't know who was saying it, but we have had no frost so far. But however, long-term forecast, first quarter of next year, we still could be getting snow and cold weather. So it could be a chilly January and February, even though it looks like for the rest of the year it's just going to be wet and warm. I got a pleasant surprise on a homeowner project. I have a faucet that I installed. It must be at least 15 years ago, minimum, maybe longer than that, maybe 20 years ago. And I was just curious to know if it was possible to get parts to repair it because it's dripping. And I bought it at Costco. I have another faucet. I was able to call some phone number and give them the item number, and they say, oh, there's a lifetime warranty, and they sent me 2 cartridges for free. Now we'll see if I can get the cartridges in them, get the old ones out and get the new ones in them. But I was kind of surprised at that, a product that old. They say, yeah, we have lifetime warranties on our product. I guess, most people never call and check, so that was interesting. Richard, I say any surgery you walk away from is a success. It's just like landing an airplane. So I'm glad to hear it went well, and I'm glad to hear it was laparoscopic, so I didn't have to gut you like a fish. And yeah, I find the surgery is not the bad thing. It's recovering from the anesthesia. So hang in there with that. Drink lots of water, and take it easy. Let's see. Wade, spending time with the family. That's what the holidays are for. And Nosferatu 2, that is a classic vampire movie. I thought that was the first. But there's been, I'm sure, many remakes, so it'll be interesting to see which one you saw. If it's a talkie or a silent or what's going on with that. Let's see. Wade, I never heard an echo, either, at least not on the 2-meter circuit, so I guess to hear the echo, maybe you had to have audio on. I've got my speaker turned off on the computer right now, but I didn't hear any echo through that at all. Big delay, though, when I was trying to watch the BATC live stream from England, that was a large delay, like in excess of 12 seconds. Oh, someone's waving. So, anyway, this is James, WW7N in Northeast Bellevue in the northwest corner of the continental U.S. I will turn this back to our net control, Dave. And Dave, I do see that we have been joined by some additional people.
Affirmative. Thanks with that. This is Dave, KD7CYM. The net acknowledges Carlos, 87NP, is checked in. And we see Ron, KD7QKU. Is there anybody else wishing to check into the net? Well, we'll get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. So let's go to Carlos, AD7NP in Clydesdale. let's test the system.
Okay, let's test the system.
This
This is 87NP to the net. I'm getting a call at the same time. It's multi-channel. So my audio should be going to the DATV repeater, but I also have my PDD on the radio, and so the stream should pick whatever audio is best, probably using Wade's AI. And so we'll figure out afterwards. Hope everyone had a good Christmas. Richard, it's great to have you here after the procedure. It's great news. And I'm still Wade commissioned me a software project to control multiple receivers at the repeater site. So I put together an application that controls the IDAS receiver through a serial port instead of the IAR. So that has been fun. I don't think I've been able to break my device yet, so that's always a good sign, and things are still working. I see that we moved to this new frequency, which seems to be doing quite well, at least from what I can see here. And hopefully the audio worked well on both sides. It's great to have Jim there. Hopefully, Jim, you're able to see this also on the DATV with your receiver there. And looking forward to the next steps to see your transmission also. That's it for now from 87NP. Back to net control, Dave. Back to you. Let me get off the air on both sides, 1 and 2.
87NP, thanks for that. And this is Dave, KD7CYM. Boy, here in Lake City, it's 46 degrees and cloudy, not raining presently. And Jessica, working with a guitar, I think that's exciting, but a gully washer coming through in the middle of the night, oh my gosh. Lee doing kitchen cabinet installations and floors, I think that's fantastic. Richard, we wish you well with recovery from your surgery. And Wade, scary movies with vampires. Boy, that sounds like an exciting thing to go to tonight. So anyway, that's kind of good. And Jim, too bad about a blank screen coming in on his receiver. And James, oh my gosh, as he was saying, thunderstorms. Didn't hear any thunderstorms last night, but I must have slept pretty solidly. I slept through the night. And wishing Carlos well with his software endeavor for controlling some radios up at our site.
songs you'll hear on it are something you've heard before. So that was my concern, is I can't sing along with any of them. But it was visually stunning, absolutely beautifully done. Great dancing, great singing, great music. It was wonderful. It had Jeff Goldblum in it, and I like him. He's a nut. He's just whatever he's in these days. He's just a kooky nut, and I like Jeff Goldblum. So that was pretty cool. Okay, there's more to this movie coming, because this is only like part one, and they don't really explain that very well until the very end, when it says, stay tuned for part two. So that's kind of what we saw. But lastly, I'm going to say one more thing. I'm a big fan of NPR, and I listen to a show called As It Happens out of Canada, out of CBC. And they played a show for Hanukkah the other night. I think it was called Ludka the Goat, and it was just a heartwarming story, well told. If you can find it on the internet, I say listen to it, because it was just a cute story, and it was for Hanukkah. So I just really enjoyed it. Okay, with that, I'm gonna pass it back. This is KF7UHK.
KF7UHK. Let's go to Port Angeles. To Lee M7KC.
Okay, well, I hope I'm aboard. This is Lee M7KC in Port Angeles. I want to say good evening to Carlos and Jessica, of course, and also Jim out in Covington. Anyway, I don't know where Ron went. I was wanting to hear. It looked like he was on a phone, maybe not at home. I don't know. But anyway, I thought I would just unhinge my camera here and let you take a look at this very, very nice aneroid barometer. This is a large, about 8 inches across, and it's a Wallace and Tiernan. It's super duper. This is the best instrument I've ever seen. And of course, it's analog. This one measures in millibars, and it only gives you station pressure, wherever it is. You have to convert if you want mean sea level pressure. But I have all the formulation to do that sort of thing. Plus, I have a Princo Mercury here, and actually several other barometers. So I thought I would just show you what that looked like. And some of my radio stuff here, I guess, get a chance to see my operating position here. But I've got stuff all over. Heavy duty, on the internet is 20 minutes, 30 minutes late. And if the barometer's changing, you know, you can't wait that long. So I get it off of the radio here from the airport. I'm close enough to get that. And then I go through an exercise here with the mercuries and the various ones I have to do comparisons here and make sure everything's working properly. So that's it from here, I guess. Mighty nice pictures. The digital stuff is pretty spectacular, isn't it? It's really quite something. I mean, it takes all the contest out of amateur radio. You know, you plug it in, fiddle around with settings, and you never have to fool with it again. Nothing to set up. You know, call me old-fashioned, but anyway, back to you, Dave. This is at 7KC, Lee in Port Angeles.
WW7ATS, thanks for that. Get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. On the 08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's go to Richard down in Arizona, K7ITX.
Yeah, I don't have really a heck of a lot to report, especially when you're down under the knife, so to speak. Yeah, that anesthesia is pretty intense, and but it's amazing stuff too, very amazing. And so, Jessica, thank you for the report about the Wicked movie. Now it makes me want to go see it, or at least to follow along and find out where I can see it here in Phoenix. I guess you'd want to see it at the IMAX theater would be my guess, and but I could be wrong about that. But real 3D, I'm a fan of 3D. With my Oculus headset, the rock climbing adventures that in France and Yosemite are just vivid and immersive, three-dimensional, and so I'm a big fan of that, and it sounds like maybe Wicked is well, it sounds for sure it's worth the time. I heard a stamp of approval from Jessica, so I appreciate that a lot. So with that, I'll send it back to Map Control, K7ITX.
ITX. Thanks for that, and again, wishing you well for a speedy recovery from your surgery. Let's go to Tacoma to Wade, W7ITL.
I'm going to mute myself so I don't have to hear myself twice. Let's see, I gotta mute myself one other place. But good conversation tonight. It's always nice to do these nets. Doing a little extra work here tonight, and I'm trying to control my PC and the net at the same time, and it's just a little taxing to do both. Let's see, I'm going to get myself here. Just trying to get this to work. There we go. I'm going to mute
looking at the output of the repeater, and it doesn't seem to be doing much of anything. I had a completely black screen. Then when Carlos began speaking, I received a picture, and but it was a frozen picture. It was there for all of about 3 seconds, and now I have a frozen picture. It apparently stepped forward in time a minute or two after the previous picture, and it's a screenshot of what looks like might be the computer. I see a picture of Dick in the middle, and I see Wade's call sign down at the lower left, but the clock is not counting. It is now stuck at 8:37:08. So I'm not exactly sure what the problem is there. If Wade or Carlos can mention any words of wisdom on that, I would appreciate that. And let's see. Carlos said something about a new frequency. Don't know what's... Okay, now my picture says it's searching. Let's see. Jim, faucet parts, lifetime warranty. That is excellent. Yeah, I have found that going to Home Depot or Lowe's doesn't always get me the parts that I need. For some reason, there's a McClendon's not too far from my house. Usually they have some older parts available there. And there's another store in Maple Valley called Johnson's Do It Yourself, and they have some older parts there as well. But that's great that they got you that stuff. Lifetime warranty. That usually lifetime means until the guy who's working there quits or something. I don't know. So you lucked out on that one. The movie Wicked. Yeah, Jessica, I remember you said you went to that almost deep in thought, deep in whatever the phrase is for it. I don't know. Interactive, I guess you'd say, showing. But my wife went to one, and it was just, okay, now I've got a picture and it's counting. Okay, good. Anyway, my wife thoroughly enjoyed Wicked. She did not go to any of the 3Ds. She did not go to the IMAX. She went to just the El Cheapo rate for seniors. So she thoroughly enjoyed it. So, Dick, if you were thinking about that, my wife liked it too. I didn't go. I thought it was probably going to be more like a chick flick. I remember seeing the Wizard of Oz, I don't know, 60 or 65 years ago, and I think I saw it once since then. I don't think I need to see it again, but oh well. Let's see. My picture is now frozen once again. Oh well. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
Thanks for that. Let's go to Northeast Bellevue to James, WW7ATS.
Thank you, Dave. With 15 minutes left to go here to the net. Sounds like if you've got goodwill to take everything, I say good going, good job, and good riddance. I have two video cameras I don't quite know what to do with. One is an old, it's a hybrid. It has actually, I think, a vacuum tube type sensor for the image sensor, but then the rest of it is transistor and integrated circuits. And I'm pretty sure the tube is just burned out. It doesn't work anymore as a camera, but it will still play a VHS cassette. Yeah, that's right. This thing takes VHS cassettes. It's not exactly something you can tuck in your pocket. So it's kind of a big piece of junk around here. Another one, smaller one, I think was an 8mm video, and I think it's got the same problem. I don't know whether the sensor is semiconductor or a tube, but it's one that, it's probably 30, 40 years old. And my brother-in-law gave it to me with lots of tapes, and I don't even know if you can play the tapes in it. He gave it to me in a very nice box, and to be honest, I haven't even taken it out to see what it can do yet. If you're still listening, but I found more than 10 titles, let's just say that, more than 10 titles that have the keyword Nosfera 2 in them. So I'm really curious to see what you're going to look at, including a remastered and colorized version of the original. So it'll be really interesting to see what you report back on what you saw there, because that's certainly a classic that's been redone even more than I thought it has. And that's not all of the movies that have that character in them. That's just the ones that have the name of the title. There's dozens and dozens, of course, of vampire movies that have the famous Dracula character in them. Share a picture here, and I don't think, though, Jessica can see it, but I found what I believe to be the guitar and the synthesizer that she's talking about. It looks very interesting. The guitar, Jessica, I'll describe it here. It looks like it has a switch on the top of the play area, buttons for your right hand, 6 knobs, 3 small ones and 3 big ones. And then there's there's a place where the strings traditionally run, but then there's also, it looks like maybe a handle or something that comes up from the base of the guitar all the way up to where the tuning screws are. And then there's a guitar synthesizer that has buttons labeled 1 through 8, and then 3 giant buttons that have yellow on it, and 2 LED digital displays, looks like 2 digits each, and some other things I can't quite make out. So maybe that's the one you're trying to repair. If so, yeah, that's going to be a project. That looks like a complex piece of machinery there. Lee, you make me smile. Yeah, that's the problem with modern-day digital communications. It's just too easy and too reliable. What can I say? Unless, of course, you're in Northern Europe right now, where for some odd reason lots of Chinese and Russian tankers seem to be flying the 7 seas, dragging their tankers on the bottom of the ocean, which is causing problems. But other than that, yeah, you set everything up and it works, usually, at least at the consumer level. I think it gets harder at the commercial level. So anyway, well, I can see we've got about 12 minutes left at the top of the hour. This is James, WW7ATS in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to Dave, our net control.
7NP up next. Carlos, what say you?
All right, this is 87 back.
I don't see myself on the review. Oh yeah, well. Okay, I hope that Jim is receiving now. I have a record of the first transmission from Jim's house the other day, directly from the attic, where Wade was setting up the antennas for Jim to receive. And so that was the first record of Jim's transmission. And just before that, just showing, I think Lee was saying that we just get it up and running, but nothing like picking up a challenge. So I've built my own amplifier, and I'm not using it today, but I use it in a QSO with Wade the other day also. So even when everything is ready to go, it's always fun to play around with some different setup and figure out how to get it working. On the movie side, since everyone was mentioning movies, the family here is watching kind of the sequence of the Hobbits. We're done with the first, and we're in the middle of the second one, and we have one more to go. So there's always kind of 9 hours of movies, I think, just to watch the Hobbit, but it's always a great experience. That's what we have to report from here. I hope the transmission was successful. And Jim, the story about the frequency is that the input frequency on the repeater used to be 435 500, and today we're using 435 750/3 megahertz, as you see there on the top, because we are moving away from the interferences that we had at the base of the frequency band, and this is much better. We also don't have the interruptions that we used to have on this channel anymore, so that's pretty good. That's it for now, and probably for the hour. Thank you very much and a good evening. 87NP, back to net control.
87NP, thanks for that. And this is Dave, KD7CYM. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Gosh, I was thinking about Jessica's guitar. I'd say it's more like a Wurlitzer than a guitar with all of the controls on it. So anyway, maybe it's a cross between a guitar and a Wurlitzer organ. I don't know. It sounds like a lot of stuff happening there. And for me, spooky movies, they're always kind of fun to do in the winter months. But some of the times they're more comical than they are spooky. Seeing how they put things together. Anyway, there's always some great comedy movies out there that you can see that where everybody's trying to pull the wool over the viewer's eyes, so to speak. So anyway, that's what's happening there. So I'm going to send it back to KD6ILO Mario if you're still listening. And hearing none, let's go up to the top. Jessica, KF7UHK.
UHK, absolutely. This guitar, especially for its day, it is the Wurlitzer of guitars. Like James was explaining, yeah, it has this odd bar on top of the thing that goes from the body of the guitar up towards the tuning neck. And we figured it's probably a balancing thing, a counterbalance for the fact this thing has a 24-pin connector and cable that hooks up to it, which is a very big type of thing. This is not a nice small, phone line cable. This is very big size cable with a very big connector on the butt end of this guitar. And so we figured that's probably a counterbalance to make it balance out right. And like James was explaining, there's this box that has all the foot pedals and controls on the floor, and this thing is probably 40 pounds or more. This thing is made to stomp on. Plus, when you put the case on top of it, you can stand on this thing. It's so solid. So it's not something you really want to have to move around much. If you're a gigging traveling guitarist, it would not be fun to take the thing around. But for us, it's more of a project. If we can get it back together and make some of it work and make some of the strings track correctly, we'll be happy. That was one of the things. This is not the best tracking, as in when you play a note, it doesn't always get the correct note when you pluck it. Now for Christmas, I got Sylvia a brand new synth guitar, but it doesn't come with the guitar. It just comes with a pickup and a floor device that has hundreds of sounds that are really just superb compared to what this old Roland has. And we haven't hooked it up yet because we haven't figured out which guitar she wants to up with a little bit of double-sided tape and hook on the interface to plug it into the box on the floor, and it should just be really nice. We may go get a cheap guitar for that. The last thing I'll just say, Goodwill is a great place to get rid of stuff, and also Value Village. Oh, and on VHS players, I have an old VHS/DVD player that you could record onto VHF a DVD because it was still, I guess, not outlawed yet or something. I never use it for that, but I do play CDs on this old VHF DVD player, so it plays musical CDs. With that, this is KF7 UHK.
UHK, very interesting. Let's go to Port Angeles to Lee in 7KC.
Okay, very good, guys. In 7KC, Lynn, PA, Port Angeles. Well, an interesting mess. They always are. So it's fun seeing the beautiful digital pictures. They're quite something. Let's see. I really don't have anything else to add. I probably will see you people before the new year, but just in case, Happy New Year. We hope 2025 will be an improvement on 2024. It'll be the year I'll get my floor done, I hope. Anyway, I should have brought up the very, very nice valve I got. The water for the old refrigerator and the one previous to that the previous owner, I suppose, put in. They drilled a hole in the floor and ran a quarter-inch copper line down and did a saddle T on the cold water line in the crawl space. Can you imagine? There was no way to shut the water off the refrigerator except the main valve for the house. And so I've been in the crawl space 3 times now. I went in first as a reconnaissance trip, and it's really a terrible place to get into. I put my old Carhartts on and everything and went in and did that. And then I had to go a second time. The third time was to turn the valve off because we were disconnecting the refrigerator. Well, that didn't work. I guess that was the second time. That didn't work, and I had to go down with vice grips. I had to bend the line over and then pinch it off. And now I've got a replacement for that saddle T down there, which will basically render the pipe, it will restore its integrity. And I have to do that. That's one last trip to the crawl space. And then I got a very, very nice added T that goes underneath the sink. It's a 3/8 quarter compression, and it will go, the hose will go in back to the kitchen cabinets and straight to the refrigerator, and it has a beautiful ball valve built into it. So we're working on that anyway. Okay, good enough. Well, good to see you all, and see you down the bike. In 7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Back to you, Dave.
We also have somebody else that has checked in. If you got your radio on, you can talk with us. On the 08 machine, 147.08 at 103.5. Well, let's move on to Richard, K7ITX.
73, everybody. Have a happy new year if I don't talk to you beforehand or afterhand, however you look at it. So anyway, happy holidays, and it's been a great net. K7ITX. back to net control.
TX, and it looks like the net has come to an end. It's 9 o'clock. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, 87CYM. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.